Hi, this is Mia. I hope the mic is working. I guess tell me if it's not. I need to redo yesterday's video. I walked to the post office thinking that I was getting this kit from Science Surplus Place, and I was really excited about it. I thought they opened at 8:30. I woke up at 7:45 to print something for loan signing for refi. Huge package. I didn't end up having the post office open, and there was a package slip in my box, but they weren't open. And I ended up fixing my printer after saying I didn't know how to use my brother. Oh, I don't remember. Is it HLL? I don't know if it's two L's. 6200. I think is it DW? I don't know if it's got the D. It might just be W. What does W mean? Wi-Fi, I think. It's just a single tray. So whatever that one is. Sorry, it's very popular. 6200. That comes with one tray. Laser brother. So I think that's probably what H. I don't know what the H means. L laser. Anyways, I made a 17-something minute video in my robe, and then I was like all this weird angle, and I was all paranoid. So I didn't post the video. I spent at least 30 minutes doing all that stuff, and I ended up being that late to the appointment. Now, I messed up. I would have printed the documents the night before. Actually, I might not have because I was so tired. And I set an alarm for, 6:45 or 7:45 so I could, maybe 6:45 so I could be up and out at 8 or 9:30 and get the appointment at 10. The person I saw when I looked at the documents on paper, it's easier for stuff to stand out. I saw that they had a couple different phone numbers from area codes, and I saw a missed call the night before. I also had a call from a no-caller number with a voicemail about some kind of I'm in a community alliance of tenants group, and I was in their last meeting, and the person's like, "Who is this? I don't know who this is." I had joined this community group years ago, and apparently they had my email address was all messed up. I don't know. It was like Machiavelli gratis or something, like something really way off. I was like, I have not gotten an email. I have not gotten into these meetings. I was supposed to volunteer with this group. I was supposed to be a supportive member, and also I was told to go there and get support for my own housing situation as a member. And I never got anything until recently. Somebody randomly actually called me to invite me to the group, and that's when I found out so they could have been sending my email out. So I'm glad they didn't take me off the list, because these things are important, especially when you're living in a slum with a slumlord. Speaking of slum, I had COVID in January. I thought I saw something dart across the floor, and I thought I was like hallucinating. I had something in my eye. I had some other issues I had with that doing a trial, which I never even got the gift card for. Anyways, let me look. Well, there's a second gift card for another thing I was supposed to get. My boyfriend dropped something behind the stove. The stove is like this far from the wall, which I lied to put anything on top of the stove, unless it's like magnetic or something. But it fell, and I went to go get a plate for this secretary with a glass front. I was going to put these rocks that he got on there from the beach, and he actually got some glass, sea glass, and something had like a little bit barnacle piece on it. But I was going to put these in here on something so it wouldn't scratch up the wood, because it's an antique. It just turned into an antique at 100 years this year. I ended up seeing a dead mouse. I didn't examine it, but it looked like a dead, rotting mouse in the back of the stove on a sticky trap that I had set, because there was bugs or something coming out of the door, like big ones. There's like these big cracks. So speaking of slum, but anyways, I saw evidence of vermins when I moved in, and the landlord assured us there was none. So we've had to take matters into our own hands. We had been in his other apartment was in a garage, and I'm not very neat. If you see my videos, a receipt we had just recently fell on the floor, but we were in a hurry to get somewhere, and I just left it. Like, normally I'm trying to pick stuff up, so I'm not normalizing, so I can normalize the floor not all cluttered with papers and stuff. So I picked this up later when we got home, and it has bite marks, and I'm trying to get a single piece of paper, but you know how, like, it has, like, we'll just draw it on there. I don't even know if you can see all this, but you know how it's kind of like jagged like that. I don't know if it was jagged like that, but it looked like something like, sometimes stuff, we had pet rodents, and I'd be like, something's in the house. I'm like, oh shoot, my rodents we let them play in the house, and they got into the books, and I got bite marks in my body. I can't even draw the ones the right way, but you got something with teeth, and you can think of, like, you get something, a piece of paper, say a piece of paper's under this laundry basket, and I pick it up, and the corner rips off, and it kind of rips it into the shape of the basket or whatever, or it's like kind of smooth, or it's just a straight tear, right? Versus something that looks like, unless you take a pen or something and a fork and like stab it and pull it up, then it's gonna be jaggedy. So I get suspicious. I told my boyfriend, there's something in here. We left for an hour and came back, and there is bite marks and in this paper, and I hadn't seen any other evidence. I hadn't seen any turds. We cleaned it off completely when we moved out, and I didn't see any droppings. Not saying that they weren't somewhere, or that could have been just the first time, but there was some holes under the sink. I think they didn't finish the house, like the plumbing and stuff. There was some, I don't know, I think he foamed them or filled them or caulked them or something. He'd already caulked the stairs, had big gaps for the carpet. And then I set one of these did I set a sticky chop, or did I set, he didn't like the sticky chops, because people don't like, my friend didn't like sticky chops because it seems like torture, but then we had them in the storage unit, and there was a big old snake in there. I didn't see it. I would have been nice to scream. It's one thing I see a snake outside, I scream, but it's one thing you see it inside where your stuff is, and you're like, because it could have come from the storage unit. It could have been in Neston, and he had brought some stuff home. That happened before too. So I just saw in a sticky chop, there's a big bug in one behind the dresser. I am terrified. There's been stuff that he bought with his own money and used. He saw dead bugs in the little storage. They're not storage, they're utility little closets. Online it says, get a dedicated vacuum for any bug, vermin, eggs. I don't know. Like, you get that bathroom. Especially that, I used to sell rainbows. That air, that stuff that gets powdery and ends up coming, like, the vacuum is not a vacuum, right? Because it's not enclosed. It's got an air intake, suction, and then the air has to come back out. But it has to either go through whatever kind of filter or bag or whatever type of device you're using. So the rainbow had it go through the water as a filtration to keep the dirt in there. So you know the old vacuums with the bags, and you used to turn it on, and they had the cloth on the outside, like the old Kirby and stuff, and it used to go poof. Even the little handheld Dirt Devil plugins, they had those bad, they would go poof, and all this dust would go on, and it'd be like, face would be all feeling funny. At least mine, my throat would start hurting. I still get that way with the, we have a mini wetback, or what it's, I don't even know if it's a wetback, but a mini little shop vac. The wheel fell out. It was like, we can't even find, I think he finally found the filters. I had some issues with some filter. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So he can be on pest control. We can both be on it, but I'm gonna give him something to do because I gotta do billing for my medical practice, and so I like to recap yesterday's video, but I'm adding more. I got these papers from Oh shoot, did I write down the name? I got the job through SnapDocs. And I think it's Signing Ink. I guess I hadn't worked with them. They said, are you with Fidelity? You need that before you can do this job. And they didn't send me the paperwork till after I did the job. So I didn't even know they were going to have me do the job the day before because I asked for the paperwork. Or maybe they even gave it to me. Oh shoot, I gotta pay all my bills. Maybe they even gave it to me. Maybe I signed up to do the job the day before. It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before yesterday, or was it yesterday? No, not yesterday. It wasn't Monday. Maybe Monday or Tuesday. I got assigned a job. I said I don't have the docs to sign up with Fidelity, and they didn't send them till after I got back. And it ends up being 11 pages, and it needs a background check. And if you didn't have your background check through the NNA, you have to pay at least $55. Let me see what it says. I gotta scan this stuff. I want to use my scanning app on my iPad, which is probably, I'm like, if they think that's the kind of scanner, if they like, oh my gosh, these are the worst documents, I'm about to do it though. I have that better scanner. It's really easy to point and click. This used to have a scanning. What happened to the cell phone? That used to be able to, when this phone was new or it was refurbished, it used to be able to go like this and it would say scan. Let's see. I don't see anything that says scan. Let's just type it up. Let's say scan with Samsung Galaxy. Let's say 10 Edge. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning. The printer ink for the non-laser came. I need to open and make sure it's the right stuff. For the color ink printer that I have. And I got that when COVID happened. I should have got it before. The thing is, I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be at my house. But COVID happened, lockdown, sickness. We didn't get locked down because we had to work. We weren't working before COVID. So the hipsters and us, we had our stay at home before COVID. So we got to get out and go fishing. See, we had a broken car. So we didn't get out that much. But you're in my boyfriend's apartment was in a garage with no kitchen and only enough room for like a bed. It was about the same room as this bedroom. A bed, a dresser with the TV on top, and then an area here where we had 2 shelves, and then he ended up getting, clothing racks, and he ended up getting one or 2 shelves. I can't remember how many. I don't know. I think he could fit that much. And then there's basically 2 chairs with the table that was obnoxious in the back that came with the apartment. And it had 2 stools we were using for our appliances. So we had the crock pot on the floor. And this, so you could we had a sliding drawer, kitchen drawer that had, we still have stuff in it. I hope it doesn't still have food in it. The storage unit, the animals would have got through that, but the mice in there. And then the bathroom and the stairwell. So you think of a garage on the bottom, like 2.5 car. On the top, the walls. So already the stairwell went from here around, so it's already that much smaller. And then the, this is the hardest paper to see. So, if this was a 2.5 car garage in the upstairs, besides the start of the stairwell, which cuts off some, you also had the steep roof made it so that the edges, you don't necessarily, this is an attic, like, too, you see how low the wall is, so there's, if you made the wall wider to go to where the brick is on the outside, you would, like, if you had 2x4s, like you're supposed to build a regular house now, 2x4s with insulation and then drywall and then whatever. This is wood paneling from who knows when. The ceiling would be even lower. It'd be like way down here, right? See what I'm trying to say? So basically, we'll just say if you could fit 2 cars in this garage. I don't even know if it was that big. It might not even been a 2-car garage. The upstairs was way smaller, but we have a lot of crap, I'm not gonna lie. And he emptied one storage unit, and we were trying to empty the other one. So my heart told me you guys would be like, why are you talking about notary stuff? And that you're talking about that. I have a medical license that I'm not using that much. I'm using it a lot, but unfortunately my other patients, where my home and my office is, keep getting their insurance all switched around, and it's really irritating me. So I need to go ahead and do some billing for one, but the ones I can get the money from. But I'm not making a living because the people's insurance keeps switching, and that even one family, I think there was 7 people, I was treating all but one, and then the other one was kind of leery, probably because the one that didn't recognize my degree, one of the older 2 kind of disappeared. So I had 3 kids and 2 adults, 2 middle-aged adults, and the one person had an emergency, their insurance changed. The other person stayed the same, I think, and then the others swapped to what the one parent's was. And so I had been billing all of them. One of them was my first patient that I ever got paid for. And I was really upset. So, I don't know how to say it, but anyway, that's a different story. I had to do something waiting for this medical license because I was going to do this part-time while we visited his kids and then go back to where my house is. And COVID didn't happen yet, but something told me while you're waiting for your medical license here, you got to earn money to get back to your house. Because I couldn't find any kind of jobs, and he couldn't either. We end up me going to get general notary for Maryland while I was here, and saying, when I come here, I could do that too and help with healthcare, people that need healthcare notaries, or like in institutions or at home births and different things like that. I ended up getting a bunch of calls. So I got that in December 2019, 2023. I heard of COVID in February, and I told the kids pretty much hunker down, fill your pantry, hunker down. And then the phone started ringing off the hook. The refi boom that happened shortly after March 2021. And they kept asking. I said, I don't think I can do that. I don't even know how I knew that I couldn't do refinances. Maybe one of the first people asked me, do I have my TIPIC license or whatever, title insurance producer, and I said no. And they said, you need to get that so you could do this. Actually, some of the first ones were willing to pay me anything. They didn't know if they needed a TIPIC. I said, I'm not comfortable with that transaction. There are some general notaries I hear, I don't know them, that aren't using it, so be careful. It's by law you need it, and I don't know, I keep hearing the deed of trust uses my TIPIC number. Hello? Hello? Anyways, so I did that, and it's embarrassing to think that I went from being a doctor to doing, basically for general notary, I need to take the test, by the way. Anyways, there's a long story. You got the phone ringing from 7:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night, trying to hire you for something, begging you. There's a calling, literally, when your phone's ringing. And they're finding me all over the internet as being in this area. So yesterday my phone was ringing off the hook for jobs that I have a different job that I have to do on the weekend, and they frequently, mostly Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when they are Thursday, Friday, Saturday is when they want most of the jobs. I don't see too many Monday, Tuesdays. I don't particularly like doing Monday, Tuesdays. I feel like the loan people the signing services were working around the clock and on the weekends in 2021, and now I feel like they're 9 to 5, we're out of here, the phone is shut off, maybe you can leave a message or a type or voice message somewhere for someone to pick up the call, but I don't really hear back. I did get, I'm not going to show the information. I can show this part. I did get paid for that job that I expressed concern about it being a split signing, and that their direction said if this is split signing, it's supposed to be listed a certain way on the documents. And so we had found out at least 3 times the documents had been denied by the state or the county, whoever they filed it with. I don't know who files this for loan modification. Was it loan modification? I think it was a loan modification. So this person, this signer, had said that they had gone to notaries multiple times and that they hope it would work with me. And I got even more scared. So anyways, I can tell that story another time. There were some red flags all over the place. So much that one of the people said, we're putting this on hold until we figure out something. And then I got these automated messages that were from them to me, but they never responded, that said that the documents were exactly the same. They dropped my signing fee to 0. I would have gone back out there. But later on I saw that that's the same exact documents. I said, and I told them the documents I copied and pasted the part that said these need to say such and such, and they just kept scolding me like, you need to follow the directions. You need to drop it off at a FedEx facility, or you're not gonna be covered if you drop it in a Dropbox or take it to us. And I was like, dude, an hour and 15 minutes that way and an hour and 15 minutes that way is a FedEx. And that's the minimum drive. That's me estimating how to get to the city limits. You're gonna have a signing 25 minutes, 35 minutes up the road, and then you're gonna have me do a 2-hour trip after I come back and scan it, and then drive 2.5, 3 hours to a FedEx, and then come back. You pay me $60 for something that I printed like 170 something pages and drove for over an hour in the first place, and then you want me to go redo it for free on something that we didn't do wrong, because we went to documents with the signer like 4 times afterwards. And I waited. I sent them a message because they sent me a message, this company, saying please respond to this email. And I was like, okay, I responded to the email, and they're like, you must use the message center in this portal. And I was like, they told me respond via email. They didn't. And you can, sometimes I do both if they want to see the email first that I confirm the appointment. It was just a red flag all around, and they scolded me for that. And I usually do respond by email real fast if I'm getting ready to get in the car and go to another appointment, and then I'll come back and put it in the portal, because I know they say that protects you. You state what's going on. I don't know how to explain that, but I take screenshots of that sometimes because I don't know if they can erase that documentation. So I had a lot of documentation about these orders this past couple months. Well, yesterday's order and that order I'm talking about. Then I saw that the title company canceled the signing because I said I'm not going to do it. At first I said something else about, I don't know what, maybe I needed money for the drive fee or something because I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, I waited at the signer's house and they never contacted me. So then I went and drove around for another 20 minutes looking for a place to drop off the documents. And then I think I had a refi that morning. I was supposed to do another signing with that speedy notary guy, that scammer. And so I was trying to get back. And it wasn't in my town. It was still another 20 minutes outside of town that I had to do. But it was like I had to come from that one here and then come back to this town, and then the other one is going towards an island, so it's basic. There's no like shortcuts. I think there's a shortcut. No, that's not even short. I was gonna say there's a ferry that goes across the river, but you have to go. They're like grapes around here. The roads, like you can go down. It's like a regular city. You can be like, I need to go from here to here, and I can just zip through and take the highway or take the surface streets depending on the traffic. Here, it's like grapes. If you want to get to, I'm trying to hold something else up. If you want to get somewhere from here to here, it's not like a straight shot. It's like you got to go down this great path to this central road, go around this road to bypass, go on this highway, then get on that highway. And that's straight. 2 lanes. No passing lane. You get behind a farm truck, you get behind something, speed traps. I hope I didn't get a ticket yesterday going, there's a school and a park, and they don't post a speed limit sign, and I totally spaced that I was supposed to be going 25 until I got to. When you come into town, you can see the speed limit sign, but when you're going out, you don't see it. And you're driving so slow through town, you're just like, I gotta get back. And I was like, oh my god. Yesterday signing and all of the whole year signing, if I got a ticket, it's all gonna go to, all the money I earned from signing would go to me driving past that speed camera. I'm like really scared. Like, I'm really, really scared. Like, I'm not exaggerating scared. I know that our speedometer is frequently slower, or the speed is usually, something's wrong with the speedometer. It says you're going faster than you are, so I cross my fingers that, but once in a while it's correct. I don't know why. We should change the tire pressure. That's a different story. So yesterday's video was a happy dance video, and I want to edit it. I ended up, guys, figuring out how to use Step Brother printer with the second tray that I bought last year at a like super high rate. I think you could do the Amazon and see the price fluctuation, and you can look, if you have the Honey Extension app, you can sign up for price alerts. Brother and everyone, most places were selling out. I saw someone was selling one on eBay for what, $300 or something, like, oh, this will help me out. So I do have the dual tray. There's also a paper feed, which sucks. I wonder if that one has one in the back. Sometimes you guys, there's different things in the back too that you can make your hello? Keep hearing it. I'm like all freaked out. Hello? Oh my god. Which reminds me, I'm looking over, there's a filter. I need to change this filter over here. Like immediately after I hang up. Hang up this call. This is not a Zoom call. Oh my gosh. I've been watching videos here and there, and Brother has videos and facts about this is how you go into your computer and print and set tray 1 to this and tray 2 to this. But I didn't quite see where you have one tray printer, you buy a separate printer, you slap that thing on, you place it on top of the other one. I have it on the floor too, which creeps me out. And then you end up something told me, and this is what I said yesterday, so when I place that video, I'll be duplicating some of my words. Something told me, turn it off and unplug it. Turn it off and unplug it. Turn it off and unplug it. And I didn't do it until yesterday. And this signer didn't text. I'm not even going to look. They were toxic. I'm not even going to look at the time. It was 8 or maybe a 7 something that they texted me. And I was like already printing the documents. But the first time I tried to use it, didn't work. It was 100 and something, 160 or something pages, I don't know. I did 1 through 6. 1 through 5 was letter and 6 was legal. So I tested it 1 through 6. It didn't work. I couldn't get the printer to see. I finally got to see both trays when I plugged it back in and turned it on. And it took me a few goes to get to where I could anyways, it took a while. Sometimes it didn't. First, I didn't see. The second try, it's like, oh shoot, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then it saw it, but it wouldn't let me assign a paper size. I need letter in tray 1 and legal in tray 2. And then the computer didn't recognize it, so then I printed it, only let me see letter illegal. And then later on, it had something changed to PDF size that of copier. And I had something, I thought, I'm not sure, something had it on auto in the settings. And these brothers are not the fancy, more expensive ones, so I have to go in the closet with a flashlight so I can even see the buttons. So I'm gonna. Yesterday's signing halfway through, it has an instruction page of how to print these documents by doing actual size. It's not called actual size, is it? There's fit and there's actual, right? And then isn't there a third choice? Sorry, I don't remember. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, what I'm trying to tell you is that I just got distracted. It says your Galaxy has a hidden document scanner built in. I was like, oh, we had that first. We had that. It would see a piece of paper and it said, do you want a scan? And you say yes or no. And now it doesn't do that. Anyways, if you had to do what I did and you had that thing sitting on there, how many times did I lift up and put it back on thinking it wasn't connecting? It needed to be reset like that. I realized also that it's not plugged into a surge protector. This wall, I think there's a surge protector up here. All of the outlets don't work on this. That needs a surge protector. This needs a second surge protector. I don't want to plug in too much. That needs a surge protector. That closet has an outlet. This one, I think, has an outlet. They all need... I think this was office space. This is like an office area. So this is... I had some people try to send me stuff that say this is residential. They charge you. If it's not residential, it's free shipping. I'm like, it's mixed here. She's like, residential. It's like cocky. My favorite honey, YS Organic, and the people that answer the phone are super cocky. It is my business address, and I'm getting mail from the tax person for my clinic, and I'm scared they're going to give me a tax bill. I paid my taxes last year. I think it was because of grants. I paid it in Oregon and here. I don't know how you do it. My taxes are super complicated. Because I'm not sure they double tax you, or you have to state how much you paid in income tax on the first state you did your taxes. Anyways, I got to figure all that out. To tell you the truth, that is an emergency. It is the 31st. I got to pay all of the bills. I didn't transfer any money from my accounts to cover any of my rents. None of my banks except for the one up the street. BB&T, I opened my notary business account through with the EIN, I think, and doing business as, because I didn't want to pay for an LLC again. I didn't want to pay hundreds of dollars a year again. I prefer to release some of the liability, but I can't afford having that many. I can't afford $900. Like, I can't even afford the $300. I don't know if they changed it. Marilyn likes to say they changed something, and then like, just kidding. Like, oh, you guys are gonna get $5 a signature in October. I'm just kidding. Like, $5 ain't nothing either. Like, you gotta be insured. You gotta dress nice. You gotta drive your mobile notary, so you're not necessarily just doing. Even if you are at an office store or the printing place and you're a notary and they come in and you stamp it for them, that you still should be paid more than $5 a notarial act, because you're like a government non-elect official. And in fact, for that one job, I need to write down government official, and I took photocopies. So, do you have any questions? They have a big spot for the census job that says, are you an elected official? I said no, and it has something about these different conflicts of interest. I'm going to go ahead and send them an email and say, hey, I'm a notary. I'm not an elected official, so I didn't see a spot for non-elected, and I'm also a wanting to take the military and government insurance as a doula and a naturopath if I can. I might not qualify for either because of my credentials, but I see in their fine print that if you work government job, you're going to have this conflict of interest. And I don't know, to look into contracting. People talking about government contracting. My clinic is set up for government contracting, but I don't think my notary business is, which I should do that. My mentor is going to, I thought she was supposed to be self-employed or something. I thought that the SCORE mentors were self-employed, but I think they're just professionals who retired. I was under the impression that they're self-employed, that they can help you with, especially if you're starting off alone with no money, or even if you start a dualship partnership or group, or like a bunch of lawyers come together and say, hey, we're gonna rent this office together, we have a group, we're gonna chip in for the expenses and the staff, the support staff and the copy machine, you know what I'm saying? But I can see myself doing that, but alone. And I can see myself getting funded for all of my naturopathic care and making a living. Let's see, contracting. I think Griffith Notary might have something about that on there. But, like, clap your hands if you can find yourself a dual tray. People have them on Facebook. People have the single tray ones. People are selling them. I don't know if they got new printers or they stopped being notaries. I think what happened is some people saw their friends and their relatives making a lot of money, getting $275 a signing during the refi boom, and making, over $1,000 a week without any education. And so I think I don't think a lot quit, but I think a few people, when they got laid off their other job, or they just had their kids at home and they didn't have a job anyway at first, they saw this, they could work through COVID and get dressed up and clean up their car and look professional and see this money coming in, even if it was like $150. And then the jobs dropped off and this got super saturated, and it's really competitive. People snatch the jobs so fast, and the signing companies also, even if you say you're available, they select their favorites and all this stuff. So I'm just thinking of just a few, like maybe 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20 had tried to say, well, I didn't really make much money off of it. There are a few people that Griffith Notary will say they didn't want to accept the $75 jobs or whatever, and they end up sitting at home with the printer and all the equipment but not making any money. My only issue with that is someone scolded me because they took a $90 job, and I was talking about $40 and $60 jobs. She's like, it is a mile from my house on my way home from work, and it's only going to take 10 minutes because it's only 15 pages. And like, you can't be talking about not trying to do a refi for $40. And I was like, you're doing a 15 or 11 page document a mile from your house on the way home from work, that you're probably using your work printers to print your documents off, sneaking in, and you're getting $90 for it. Oh, heck yeah. I would definitely jump on that opportunities. Not those type of opportunities. But you're not doing printing 400 pages, 200 on legal for a refinance, an hour and 15 minutes from your house for $40. Because I guarantee for me, I'm going to be getting $40 worth of gas to get back home. Or when I get home from the drive of 2.5 hours. And if it's not $40 worth of gas, it's at least $20. That's where it comes down to. I'm trying to think of it as evening out. Some pay for the gas, some pay for the paper. But I feel like I don't want to make a habit. Griffith Notary also says go after certain jobs and loan application, all this stuff. I haven't done those yet. They get snatched so fast, or there's a conflict in time, or I accept a couple signings one day or 1 week, and then all the other ones are exactly at the same time, but it's super far away. So even if I could try to negotiate, this one's at 12, this one's also at 12. Can you change this one to 9? Well, this one might be 1 hour and a half away yet. You could have a loan modification you think is going to take 30 minutes. It ends up taking 2-3 hours. You have a seller's package that takes over an hour. Be careful. And it's not just chit chat and this person's got to clean the table out, find a pen. Oh wait, that's the second signer. Oh, they can't find their ID. It's not even like that. It's just sometimes it's the nature of the paperwork, the questions, the rechecking it. Sometimes they tell you it's 11 to 15 pages and it ends up being 100. I had this happen, and they tell you it's 11 to 15 pages. I think one of the signing company, a couple of them automatically have it as 11 to 15 pages. I don't know if the online portal, they click something like, what's the length of the document? I think they just click the lowest one every time, because it doesn't even sometimes say what type of document it is. Doesn't say how many signers there are. Doesn't say whether it's scanbacks. Sometimes the address that they're supposed to have the appointment when you confirm with the signer is like twice as far. And then they're going to be like, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to accept to $60 because I listened to that person say I'm letting money sit on the table. Someone else is collecting my money. And then you find out all this other stuff that's costing you, especially if it's twice as far. This gas is super expensive. But I think that they shouldn't lie about the number of pages. I had some that says 11 to 15 pages, and then it ends up being 150. And be careful of loan modification. I think there's gonna be a lot of loan modification for people going through the process of when they were unemployed last year and they got a waiver for paying their mortgage. I think it's gonna be a lot of those. I don't mind doing those. When I first started doing them, the document said, be careful, this is a sensitive nature. The person could be going through hard times. And the very first one, I'm glad they said that, because the lady was going through hard times. The houses could be underwater. Certain houses, big old houses, they had some good money coming in pre-COVID, and then their job, restaurant, hospitality, whatever, like, whoosh, disappeared. And then unemployment, I put in unemployment came January 2021. The first week of January 2021, I put in an unemployment claim. They never processed this. Fool told me that is there a holiday or something? Timesheets are due early. I was going to say one more thing about income with notary. Let me pause it and think about what I can't remember. Oh my gosh, I thought this was going to be a 20-minute video. So the first thing that I was thinking when I went to that garage, I was going to get to a point. And the second thing is, I do this for reselling. I became a reseller when I lost my job. Just like notary, everyone starts to go through this. I see a few videos. I say, my friend makes $100,000 a week selling used shoes on eBay. Like, people are like, woo, I'm going to go buy a bunch of used shoes. And they fill up a whole storage unit, and then they don't sell anything. And they're like, but whatever. It's like, they start a video and everyone gets into it. The thrift store starts raising the prices. The yard sales are not 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents just to get rid of stuff and make a couple hundred. They're wanting to make a couple hundred off of every item that they have in there. And then you have the notaries. Everyone's making videos and everyone's flock through this. That's human nature. You're going to go where the money goes. So both of those jobs, my income has super saturated. And I'm not home unemployed, which I make more money working for myself. I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, that ink is sitting right there. So I was going to say, I like to watch the videos, like, to get motivated, but do your homework on what the rules are. Do your homework on the rumors, on them talk about this. People from Florida are talking about permit running. People are talking about apostille. I don't even know what that, I can't even say it right. I don't even know what that means. Florida is way different. Florida, I feel like they can do a whole lot of stuff. Maryland and Virginia, you can do inspection. So keep that in mind. It's super competitive. I haven't got a job. They don't assign you jobs. You got to snatch for it, just like the loan signing. So that's super competitive. Are you going to drive 100 miles for $20 to take 4 pictures? Maybe. Maybe you got a really good gas mileage, but for me, it's going to cost me more than $20 to get there and back, unfortunately. So, but I said I would do it, and I I keep looking at my email getting snatched up. It's going back to what I was thinking when I was talking about the garage. There's a lot of people that do the loan signing, and they have this nice houses, this big clean desk. They're driving a real nice, clean, newer car. They got the whole setup in the back with a $2,000 battery pack to plug in all their second, third sets of printers and scanners. They got a laptop back there that they're driving around with, all the boxes of paper. And I'm like sitting here when I started in a garage with no kitchen, barely a bathroom. I mean, my head would hit the wall when I sat on the toilet, guys. And I had thought I was making a bunch of money. I looked at the checks I deposited into that account. It was like $1,000, like for the whole year. It was like people were making $1,000 a week. I said, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. Now, what was wrong with me was I was working other jobs, and a lot of people started coming over from the other side of the bridge to take these jobs. So before they were begging, now people caught on that stuff pays more over here, and what can I do? You know, if I quit my other jobs and just did this for myself, I think I'd make a living. But this is the first check I've gotten all year. I've been waiting. I've been doing work like crazy, printing up stuff, buying, resupplying paper, toner, ink. Sometimes I do print the IDs on color. I don't want to, because it's not laser. Some people don't even print on laser. I thought that was a unwritten rule. That's the thing, too. I don't think they necessarily specify it, so that could be a rumor. But I think we're all trying to do laser because if something gets wet or smudged, they're not gonna know it's ink until something happens. So make do with what you have. Not everyone can be a notary because they're gonna don't they do a background check, and they contact they make you list some people that talk about your professional or your character, not necessarily professionalism, but your morals, value. I don't remember the questions. They do background check for a loan signing, or they want the NNA certification. Nationwide companies don't necessarily just trust somebody who just went and got a $12 notary certificate. I'm not saying they don't trust, but they want more. They want to know that people they're hiring to go into these homes isn't going to be a criminal and all that stuff. So not everyone can do it. It's easy, especially if you're a person of color. It's easy to get targeted for something or be falsely accused of something. Then you end up with a record. And I've had stuff happen to me when I was younger that I was targeted for stuff I didn't even do, and threatened by the police, and had been called. The police called on me in suburbs. It is ridiculous. So do what you can with what you have. There's someone on Facebook, and she looks real professional in her pictures, and she's not a person of color, which I find rare on the groups that I'm in. And this lady said, "Oh yeah, this isn't a job you can depend on." And this lady would have all these classes, right? And the same with the permit runner. I was saying, "Come on, pay $300 for this class, learn how to make $300 an hour. Come on, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Can you even do that?" Everyone's like, "We're taking these classes. Can you even do that?" Who knows? But the person selling the classes is making a ton of money off you. That's where the money comes sometimes. The education. I've earned a penny several years ago on my YouTube channel. Nobody watches my channel. So this lady, she was all like answering everyone's questions. This is how you do this. This is how you do this. Sometimes I was questioning it, like, that doesn't seem right. And she's like, "We're holding a class on this other group live. It's only $49, or you're going to get continuing education credits for your." And I was like, what is this lady? And again, she looked super professional and all this stuff. And then she's like telling people, "Yeah, you guys, this is not something you can do full time. This is only a side hustle. This is only a side job." And when I see that, I'm like, yeah, she's right. No sense in trying to get rid of these extra jobs and do this full time when your phone's ringing off the hook and you have to say, "No, I'm busy. No, I'm busy. No." If you didn't have the other jobs, then you would be making at least $60 for the job, not $60 for 8 hours of work, or $60 for 4 or 5 hours of work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she posted something. Did she post a new thing, or it was something from last year that resurfaced? And she's like, "This happened to me," and it was for that issue that I had with the split signing, and that the paperwork was not correct. I don't think it was her fault. When they wanted to sign, it was different than my situation. One signer had to leave, so it was legitimate. The paperwork was right, but it did confirm that the paperwork needs to be something. And then they had, anyways, that's a different story. And it was dated like 2020 or something. She goes, "Oh, this happened when I was in New." I was like, she has been a notary or something for just a couple months longer than us. But she's like got herself at guru status, giving people all this advice, and some of it was like, I'm not sure that's true. Like she would have that kind of, okay, like mother hen, like ladies, like this is how you need to do this. Like, come on now, come on, let's pull it together now. Like the professionalism, and I was like, she hasn't been doing that much long. Griffith Notary, I'm gonna go rewatch if I didn't watch his story on how he became a notary, and I think that was in 2020. Or 2019. I became one in 2019. You might have started in 2019 or 2018. So I have to realize that I've been doing it for a while, and if you've been doing it for a while, if you've been certified for a while, even if you didn't have a lot of jobs at first, especially those of us who had other work or we had tried to do our career, like doctors, a lot of people like nurses, doctors, whatever, lawyers, real estate agents, you kind of just have this so you can still help people or whatever. But if you didn't do a lot of jobs, still some places, some signing services want you to have at least 2-year minimum. A lot of people jumped on this last year. I think that this wasn't always a rule because I didn't see it in a lot. There's one that I did see it, and this lady was like, "No, you're not qualified." And then her automatic system kept trying to hire me, and I don't know what happened one day. I think she really put me on the blacklist. I don't like this lady's attitude. I think I had 200 signings or something. I don't know what it was. But if you do 4 refis a week for 3 to 6 months, I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like you're pumping those things out and without issue, and you took a class. Sometimes in med school they'd say, oh, sometimes going to the student clinic shifts aren't bad because they got all the fresh medical information in their mind. And when I became a med student, I also figured you also get all the new evidence-based learning that the old school doctors have more experience with clinical treatment and diagnosis. But even one of our prescribers is like, oh, I've never heard of that medicine. You're prescribing a controlled substance. You never heard of it. You're like, let me look at my book. Oh, I think my book's outdated. You making hundreds of dollars an hour, you need to be getting on some kind of website and pulling out something on your cell phone that either you can get for free, that at least you can do a WebMD search, for Pete's sakes, for any kind of medications, or Wikipedia. That scared me. That not only is she getting all this money, this person didn't even review the charts before. What are you here for? Nice to meet you. I'm like, I met you last week. In fact, this is at least the 3rd time I've met you. This is creeping me out. Anyways, that's a different story. So, I'm not very professional. My clothes are raggedy. My boyfriend brought me a couple of these dresses. Someone complained that I was dressed too nice. Some white lady said, you need to shop at the thrift store I work at. You don't need to be buying new clothes. And I think some people, this is a Patagonia my boyfriend bought a couple of years ago. We had some money. It is getting all stained here. I have another one I saw that had a stain on it. I was so mad because I take my clothes off when I eat. I'm so mad. We don't have a washer and dryer. We have an issue because it's a business building, that there's people that work under us, and we're not doing our little hand laundry, cooking, different things we're not doing when that store is open. Not cleaning, not vacuuming. That doesn't help. I told you there's a critter and a sticky trap. That doesn't help, because by the time it's after hours and dark, I have a night job too. I was working all night at the post office too while I was trying to do all kinds of jobs. Because I was trying to qualify for unemployment. They were refusing to pay me, and then they tried to pay me a little bit and say, oh, you owe all the money in Oregon. What? I was you guys approved it. So I was trying to work so that I could stop. I was homeless before, if I had to be homeless and get a big battery and run a printer and a scanner and carry paper around and have several outfits that I take to the laundromat once a month and keep them folded and stacked and aired out so you can take them off, go to the job, or put them on, go to the job, and take them off and air them out and then fold them nicely and put them back in a clean crate. You gotta do what you gotta do. And I've been homeless before. I was homeless the last time. I think it was, we were still considered homeless in 2007, I think. Something like that. So that was still like over 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I'm still pulling myself out of a hole from homelessness. I'm still struggling with overpriced low-income rent. Especially for low-income individuals, they don't look at your income as much. They do. They nitpick it. Every time I lost a job, my rent doubled. Low-income and subsidized housing is supposed to go down when you get laid off a job. So you have all the documents that you got laid off a job. You get unemployment, then they raise it up $200 more. You only qualify for a little bit of unemployment. You got $78. They still raise it. You call a rate, tell them that your unemployment ran out and you didn't get a job and you made $70 in 3 months. They're gonna raise it. That's what happened to me. So because I couldn't buy, because I didn't have a good job history, because I was homeless and a medical student for many years, working part-time, it doesn't look good. My friend said, you did work study from year 1 to year 5, and then you work there another year. Put that on your resume that you worked at that place for that 6.5 years straight, which is the truth. It's the straight up truth. And I do have, I don't know if I should have this check stubs to prove that I was employee. Maybe not full time, but I was still employee. And I could, so look at what your strengths are. People are saying this month, what can you bring to the table? Peace, guys.